There is a river that flows silently beneath the surface of your daily existence. It is not made of water, but of pure, unmanifested substance. It is the invisible current of abundance that has been waiting for you since the moment you took your first breath. Most people live their entire lives walking on the dry banks of this river, dying of thirst while standing mere inches from the water. They work themselves to exhaustion, they struggle, they beg, and they plead, never realizing that the river does not respond to desperation. The river responds only to resonance. It waits for a specific signal, a specific vibration, a specific sound to rise from your throat and command the waters to overflow into your reality. This river is neutral, and it is endless. It does not care if you are good or bad. It does not care about your past mistakes or your current debts. It only cares about the signal you are broadcasting. Today we are going to change that signal. We are going to stop begging on the riverbank, and we are going to open the floodgates. To understand why you have not yet accessed this power, you must first understand the concept of the forbidden. When we speak of the 3 forbidden words of power, we are not speaking of words that are prohibited by a higher power or a vengeful God. The universe desires to give you the kingdom. No, these words are forbidden by the most tyrannical guard of all, which is the ordinary mind. The ordinary mind is the part of you that has been trained by society to believe that life must be hard. It is the part of you that is addicted to struggle because struggle validates your existence. The ordinary mind fears its own greatness. It trembles before the idea that a simple shift in language could dissolve mountains of difficulty. It whispers to you that if the solution were that easy, everyone would be doing it. It convinces you that you must suffer to earn your reward. Therefore, these words of power become forbidden to your logic. They seem too simple to be true and too powerful to be safe. But the logic of man is the foolishness of God. We are here today to bypass the guard at the gate. We are here to silence the ordinary mind so that the extraordinary spirit can speak. Imagine now that you are standing before a massive, ancient golden door. Visualize this clearly in your mind's eye. This door is not symbolic. It is the very real barrier between where you are and where you want to be. On your side of the door is the life you know. It is the world of unpaid bills, of health concerns, of lonely nights, and of dreams that constantly feel just out of reach. On your side of the door, the laws of competition and hard labor rule. You have spent years pounding your fists against this door. You have tried to push it open with your willpower. You have tried to pick the lock with your intellect and your strategies. You have tried to bargain with the door by promising to work harder and sacrifice more. Yet, the door remains shut. It does not move a single inch. This is because the golden door does not have a handle. It cannot be opened from the outside by force. It is not locked by a metal key that you can hold in your hand. It is locked by a sonic frequency. It is a door that only opens to the sound of authority. Most of us stand before this door, and we weep. We cry out in frustration. But weeping is the vibration of helplessness, and the door remains sealed. Some of us scream in anger at the injustice of life. But anger is the vibration of resistance, and the door actually fortifies itself against you. The door is waiting for a password. It is waiting for the voice of the sovereign. When you learn to speak the language of the invisible, you do not need to push. You do not need to struggle. You simply speak the words, and the heavy mechanisms of the universe begin to turn. The bolts slide back, the hinges turn silently, and the door swings open toward you, flooding your dark room with the golden light of the invisible river. This is the promise of the metaphysical law. The world of matter is merely the echo of the world of spirit. If you want to change the echo, you must change the sound. You must change the word. But why have we forgotten how to speak this language? Why do we find ourselves mute before the golden door? It is because we have forgotten the nature of the soil in which we plant our seeds. The subconscious mind is the most fertile ground in the universe. It is the dark, rich earth that accepts whatever falls upon it. It does not judge the seed. It does not say this seed is poison or this seed is fruit. It simply acts. If you plant a seed of poison ivy, the soil will grow poison ivy with the same enthusiasm that it grows a rose. For years, you have been walking through the garden of your mind, dropping seeds of doubt, fear, and scarcity without even noticing. You look at your bank account and you say, "I am broke," and the soil says, "Yes, let us grow more poverty." You look at the mirror and say, "I am getting old and weak," and the soil says, "Yes, let us accelerate the decay." You have been using your power against yourself. You have been a black magician of your own life, casting spells of limitation with every careless word you speak. The most critical time for this planting, the moment when the veil between the conscious and the subconscious is at its thinnest, is the time just before sleep. This is the twilight zone of the soul. When your body is tired and your conscious defenses are down, the gatekeeper of the ordinary mind falls asleep. But the king, the subconscious, never sleeps. It stays awake, waiting for its instructions for the night. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the last thought you think before you drift off is the command you give the universe for the next 24 hours. Most people use this sacred time to review their problems. They lay in the dark and replay the arguments of the day. They worry about the meeting tomorrow. They calculate their debts. They are literally instructing the universe to recreate the same problems the next day. They are signing a contract for more struggle. We are going to break that contract today. We are going to learn how to utilize this sacred window of time to plant the forbidden words. When you speak these words before sleep, they do not just sit on the surface of your mind. They sink deep into the bedrock of your being. They bypass your doubts and your fears. They go directly to the engine room of reality creation. While you sleep, while your rational mind is offline, these words begin to work. They rearrange the events of your tomorrow. They align the coincidences. They magnetize the people you need to meet. You wake up and the world feels different. You may not see the change immediately with your physical eyes, but the energy has shifted. The invisible river has begun to divert its course in your direction. The golden door has registered the correct frequency, and the tumblers are beginning to click into place. You must understand that this is not a metaphor for positive thinking. This is not about hoping for the best. This is about the physics of vibration. Everything in this universe is energy vibrating at a specific rate. Your voice is a tuning fork. When you strike a tuning fork, every other tuning fork in the room that is calibrated to that key will begin to vibrate in sympathy. When you speak the forbidden words with understanding and authority, you are striking a tuning fork that resonates with the frequency of abundance, health, and liberty. The universe has no choice but to resonate with you. It is a law as real as gravity. Gravity does not care if you are a saint or a sinner. If you jump off a cliff, you will fall. The law of the word does not care who you are. If you speak with authority, you will manifest. We are about to embark on a journey to reclaim this authority. But before we can hand you the keys to the golden door, we must prepare you to hold them. A key is useless in the hand of a trembling coward. A key is useless if the hand is too full of garbage to turn the lock. Therefore, before I reveal the specific words that will change your life, we must perform a necessary act. We must clear the debris that has piled up against your door. We must uproot the weeds that have choked your garden. We must look at the lies you have been told about your own worthiness and dissolve them. This process is what we call spiritual surgery. It is the preparation of the vessel, for the river cannot flow into a cup that is already full of bitter water. You must be emptied of the old before you can be filled with the new. Stay with me now. Do not let your mind wander. The resistance you feel is natural. It is the ordinary mind trying to keep you safe in the smallness you know. Tell it to be silent. Tell it that you are ready to walk through the golden door. The invisible river is rising. The pressure is building. The moment of breakthrough is not in some distant future. It is approaching right now. The words you are about to learn are the inheritance you forgot you had. They are the sword that cuts the ropes of your bondage. Prepare your heart. Prepare your mind. For once the door opens, it can never be shut again. Now that we have acknowledged the existence of the golden door and the invisible river, we must address the reason why you have not yet walked through that door. You might be asking yourself why. If this river of abundance is real, and if the subconscious is so powerful, you are still struggling. The answer lies not in what you are lacking, but in what you are holding. You cannot fill a cup that is already full of bitter water. You cannot build a temple of wealth on a foundation of quicksand. Before we can plant the seeds of the 3 forbidden words, we must perform a delicate and necessary operation. We must perform spiritual surgery. We must clear the weeds that have choked the garden of your mind since childhood. If we do not do this, the powerful words you speak later will simply fall upon thorns and be strangled before they can bear fruit. This is the stage where most seekers fail. They try to layer positive affirmations on top of negative beliefs, and the result is inner conflict. Today, we end the conflict. We are going to go into the basement of your psyche and find the root cause of your limitation. You must understand that the majority of your beliefs about money and success do not belong to you. They are not the result of your own experience or your own truth. They are inheritances. Just as you may have inherited your grandmother's eyes or your father's stubbornness, you have inherited their fears, their limitations, and their poverty consciousness. These beliefs were installed in you before you had the critical faculty to reject them. Think back to the dinner table of your childhood. Think back to the conversations you overheard when your parents thought you were not listening. How often did you hear phrases like, "Money is the root of all evil," or "Rich people are greedy," or "We may be poor, but at least we are honest"? These innocent-sounding phrases were actually hypnotic commands. They were seeds of lack planted in the fertile soil of your young, impressionable mind. As you grew, these seeds grew with you. They wrapped their roots around your potential. They created a subconscious program that says, if I become wealthy, I will be bad, or if I have too much, I will lose my family's love. This is the invisible enemy. You are fighting a war against a program that is running in the background of your own operating system. Let us look closely at the story of Elise to understand how this mechanism destroys a life. Elise came to seek counsel in the 1920s, a time of great change, yet her story is timeless. Elise was a woman of exceptional intelligence. She was a mathematics teacher, brilliant with numbers, dedicated to her students, and possessing a heart of pure gold. By all logical standards, a woman of her caliber should have been living a comfortable, dignified life. Yet Elise was living in abject poverty. She lived in a cold, cramped room where the wind whistled through the cracks in the window frames. Her coat was threadbare, and she had to calculate the cost of every meal down to the penny. She had talent. She had drive. She had intelligence. But she had no money. She came to the realization that there was a wall she could not break through. She worked harder than anyone else, but the harder she worked, the less she seemed to have. When we looked into the spiritual causes of her condition, the diagnosis was immediate. We did not look at the economy. We did not look at her salary. We looked at her beliefs. We asked Elise what she truly felt about money. At first, she said she wanted it. But as we dug deeper, the truth emerged. Elise revealed that her father, a man she adored and respected above all others, had been a strict academic who believed that commerce was dirty. He had taught her that the noble life was a life of the mind, and that caring about material wealth was a sign of a shallow character. He had instilled in her the belief that service must be sacrifice. In his eyes, and therefore in hers, to be paid well for helping others was dishonorable. Elise was poor not because she couldn't earn money, but because she subconsciously believed that poverty was a badge of honor. She was being loyal to her father by staying broke. Every time an opportunity for financial advancement appeared, her subconscious mind, the faithful servant of her father's belief, would sabotage it to keep her noble and pure. She was trapped in a prison built by her love for her father and his mistaken philosophy. This is where spiritual surgery begins. It is the realization that your loyalty to your parents' suffering is not love. It is self-destruction. Elise had to realize that she could love her father without adopting his fear. She had to separate the man from the belief. The surgery required her to visualize her father and speak to his image in the realm of the mind. She had to say to him, "Father, I love you, but I reject your limitation. I refuse to carry this burden any longer. Your belief that poverty is noble is a lie, and I return this lie to you. I am free to be wealthy, and I am free to be good. The two are one." This was not an act of disrespect. It was an act of liberation. It was the cutting of the energetic umbilical cord that had been feeding her poison instead of nourishment. When Elise finally released this belief, when she finally stopped equating poverty with virtue, the dam broke. The blockage in the invisible river was removed. The results were not magical in the sense of a fairy tale. They were the lawful operation of a freed mind. Within weeks, the opportunities she had been blind to suddenly became visible. She was offered private tutoring work, which she had previously felt was wrong to accept. She found she could write educational materials that were in high demand. She did not change her profession. She did not have to become a different person. She simply stopped blocking her own good. Her income multiplied 5 times over within a year. She moved into a beautiful apartment. She bought a new coat. She traveled. And most importantly, she became a better teacher because she was no longer exhausted by the stress of survival. Her prosperity blessed her students. Her father's belief was proven wrong. Her wealth did not make her shallow, it made her more effective. This is the truth you must grasp. Your poverty serves no one. Your suffering saves no one. Your limitations do not honor your ancestors. They only waste your potential. Now I turn the mirror to you. We must perform this surgery on your mind right now. You must be brave enough to ask yourself the difficult question, what is the lie you are living? Who are you trying to please by staying small? Perhaps you have a mother who always struggled and sighed about how hard life is. If you become successful and happy, a part of you feels like you are betraying her suffering. A part of you feels guilty for rising above the environment that shaped you. This guilt is the weed. It is the parasite eating your future. You must pull it out by the root. You must understand that the greatest gift you can give to those who struggled before you is to thrive. You are the dream of your ancestors, not their prisoner. You are here to break the chain of lack, not to add another link to it. Close your eyes for a moment if you can and visualize the person or the society that taught you to fear money or to doubt your worth. See them clearly. See that they were operating from their own fear, their own conditioning. They were victims of victims. Have compassion for them, but do not accept their luggage. Imagine taking a heavy coat off your shoulders, a coat that is old, dusty, and heavy. This coat represents every limiting belief you have ever heard. Imagine handing that coat back to the past. Say to the past, "This does not fit me. I am a new creation. I am born of the Spirit, and the Spirit knows no lack." Feel the lightness return to your body. Feel the space opening up in your chest. This space is the vacuum that nature abhors. Now that the weed is gone, the soil is crying out for a new seed. Now that the heavy coat is gone, you are ready to put on the royal robe of authority. This process of spiritual surgery is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice of mental hygiene. Every day you will walk through the world, and people will try to hand you their limiting beliefs. The news will tell you the economy is crashing. Your friends will tell you that it is impossible to get ahead. You must be vigilant. You must stand guard at the gate of your mind. When a negative thought tries to enter, you must inspect it. Ask it, do you belong to the future I am creating, or do you belong to the past I am leaving? If it belongs to the past, you must perform surgery immediately. Cut it out. Reject it. Do not let it take root. Elise's success came because she maintained her new state of mind. She did not go back to the old house of thought. She burned the bridge behind her. You are now standing on cleared ground. The debris of the past has been identified, and the process of removal has begun. The soil of your subconscious is rich, dark, and ready. It is hungry for a command. It is waiting for the master to speak. You have stopped being the victim of your history, and you are ready to become the architect of your destiny. The weeds of I can't, I shouldn't, and it's too hard have been pulled. In their place, we are about to plant the most powerful seeds in the universe. We are about to plant the 3 forbidden words. But remember, a seed planted in clear soil grows with terrifying speed. You must be ready for the harvest. You must be ready to accept the abundance that will come when the blockage is gone. Are you ready to let go of the familiar comfort of your struggle? Are you ready to be the first in your line to be truly free? If the answer is yes, then the surgery is a success. The patient has survived and is stronger than ever. The garden is open. The planting begins now. We have cleared the garden of your mind and removed the ancient weeds of inherited limitation, so the soil is now dark, rich, and waiting for the first seed of power. The first forbidden word I am about to place into your hands is a word so common that you likely speak it a dozen times a day without ever realizing it is a loaded weapon capable of shattering the illusion of time itself. The first word is now. You might be disappointed by its simplicity, as your intellect was likely expecting an arcane incantation or a secret sound from a lost language, but do not be deceived by the disguise of the ordinary. In the realm of metaphysics, the word now is the most dangerous word to the human ego and the most vital word to the divine spirit. It is forbidden because it forces you to leave the comfortable prison of someday and step into the terrifying freedom of the immediate present. The reason you have not manifested your desires is not because you lack the ability to dream, but because you have been seduced by the greatest enemy of the subconscious mind, which is the concept of tomorrow. You must understand the mechanics of how the universe listens to you. The universe and the subconscious mind do not own a calendar. They do not know what Tuesday is, they do not know what next year is, and they certainly do not know what someday means. The only time that exists in the energetic realm is the eternal present. When you say, I want to be rich, the universe hears a declaration of your current state of lacking wealth, and it gives you more of the wanting. When you say, I will be happy when I get that job, you are projecting your happiness into a future that does not exist. You are telling the universe that happiness is not here, so the universe, which is a faithful mirror, reflects back to you a reality where happiness is always just out of reach. Tomorrow is like the horizon. You can walk toward it forever, but you will never reach it because it is always moving away from you. The word now collapses the timeline. It acts as a command that pulls the energy of the future into the center of your chest, right in this moment. It destroys the waiting room of life. Let us explore the law of present embodiment to understand why this is non-negotiable. This law states that you cannot attract what you want. You can only attract what you are. If you are vibrating at the frequency of waiting, you will attract more waiting. If you are vibrating at the frequency of hoping, you will attract more reasons to hope, but never the result itself. You must become the person who has the thing before the thing can physically appear. The word now is the switch that turns on this identity. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of a man named Peter to illustrate this profound shift. Peter was a man who had a list of dreams that could wrap around the world. He wanted to start his own business, he wanted to travel the oceans, and he wanted to buy a home for his family. But Peter was addicted to the drug of the future. Every sentence he spoke began with a condition. He would say, I will start the business when the economy improves, or I will travel when I have saved enough money, or I will feel successful when I see the money in the bank. Peter was living in the then, not in the now. He was a beggar, standing at the gate of his own life, waiting for permission to enter. The spiritual correction he received was radical. He was told to act, think, and speak as if everything he desired was already a concrete fact in the present moment. This confused his rational mind because his senses told him he was broke and stuck. But he was taught that the senses are often liars. He began to apply the power of now. Instead of waiting to be a businessman, he began to make decisions now, as if he were already the CEO of a global empire. He stopped dressing like a defeated employee and started dressing with the precision and dignity of a leader. He stopped reading the news of despair and started studying the markets he intended to dominate. He did not wait for the money to buy the suit. He wore the best clothes he had with a new posture. He embodied the identity of success in the invisible realm before the visible realm had a chance to catch up. The result of this shift was not magic, it was mechanics. By living in the now of his desire, Peter changed his broadcast signal. He stopped broadcasting, "I need," and started broadcasting, "I have." The universe, which creates reality based on your signal, had no choice but to reorganize itself to match his new vibration. Suddenly, he didn't have to chase opportunities. Opportunities began to chase him. A partner appeared who was looking for exactly the kind of confidence Peter was radiating. The funding he needed came from a source he never could have predicted. The breakthrough did not happen in the future. It happened the moment he decided to be the person now. He realized that the golden door opens only when you stand before it and claim your entry, not when you send a letter asking for entry at a later date. This is why now is a forbidden word to the ordinary mind. The ordinary mind survives on the drama of the past and the anxiety of the future. The ego loves to recount the story of why you are broken because of what happened 10 years ago. The ego loves to terrify you with scenarios of what might go wrong next month. If you bring your total focus into the now, the ego suffocates. In the now, there is no fear. In the now, there is only power. When you say "I am prosperous now," you are declaring war on your old identity. You are refusing to accept the evidence of your empty bank account as the final truth. You are saying that the spiritual truth of your abundance is more real than the temporary physical lack. This requires a courage that most people do not possess, but you are no longer most people. You are an initiate of the higher laws. Let us practice the game of now. From this moment forward, I want you to audit your language with the severity of a judge. Catch yourself every time you use a verb in the future tense regarding your desires. If you catch yourself saying "I hope to get well," stop immediately. That is a prayer to the god of delay. Correct it instantly. Say "I am receiving perfect health now." If you catch yourself saying "I will find love," stop. Say, "Love is surrounding me now." It does not matter if you are alone in a room. It does not matter if you are in a hospital bed. The cells of your body and the atoms of your atmosphere respond to the command of the present tense. They do not judge, they obey. When you speak in the now, you are striking the tuning fork of creation. You are aligning yourself with the frequency where the solution already exists. Think of your life as a radio. If you want to listen to a specific station, you must tune the dial to that frequency right now. You cannot say, "I will tune the dial tomorrow," and expect to hear the music today. The music is broadcasting right now, but you are not receiving it because your dial is set to the frequency of waiting. The abundance you want is already broadcasting. The health you want is already broadcasting. The love you want is already broadcasting. It is flowing through the room you are sitting in right at this very second. The only reason you cannot see it or touch it is because you are tuned to the station of tomorrow. The word now turns the dial. It snaps the needle into alignment. The static clears, and suddenly the music of your new life begins to play. You must walk through your day with the secret knowledge that you are already the person you wish to become. When you walk down the street, walk as the wealthy version of you walks. When you speak to a cashier, speak with the kindness and grace of the healed version of you. Do not wait for the external world to give you permission to feel good. Seize the feeling now. This is the great secret that the mystics have guarded for centuries. The feeling is the cause, and the manifestation is the effect. Most people wait for the effect to give them the feeling, but that is living life backward. You must generate the feeling in the now to cause the effect. You must be the king or queen in your own mind before the crown is placed on your head. As we prepare to move to the second word, you must anchor this first key deep in your heart. You are not a victim of time. You are a master of time. You have the power to collapse decades of struggle into a single moment of realization. The past is a memory and the future is a fantasy. The only place where you can touch God, the only place where you can touch power, and the only place where you can touch change is right here, right now. Do not let this moment slip through your fingers looking for a better one. There is no better moment. This is the moment. The soil is cleared, the seed of now is planted, and the roots are already beginning to drink from the invisible river. You are ready to take the next step. You are ready to learn not just how to exist in the present, but how to command it. Before we ascend to the second word, the word that separates the beggars from the kings, I invite you to pause for a brief moment of energetic alignment. You are currently absorbing high-frequency knowledge that has been hidden for decades. If you have watched this far, it is because your soul is recognizing the truth and vibrating in harmony with this message. Do not let this moment pass without anchoring your intention. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, consider this your sign to do so right now. By clicking that subscribe button, you are building a bridge between your current reality and this higher teaching. You are saying to the universe that you want more of this wisdom and that you are ready to walk the path of the initiate. Also, consider who in your life needs to hear this. Share this video with a friend who is struggling or a family member who has lost hope. Be the angel that delivers the key to their prison cell. When you share light, your own path becomes brighter. Now, take a deep breath, for we are about to reveal the second forbidden word, the one that commands the chaos to obey. You have now anchored yourself in the eternal present. You have stopped chasing the phantom of tomorrow and have reclaimed the power of the now. But a question remains. What do you do with this power? How do you utilize this moment of connection? Most people, even when they find the present moment, waste it. They stand in the now and they beg. They stand in the presence of the infinite supply, and they plead like orphans. This brings us to the second forbidden word, a word that separates the masters from the victims, a word that changes the very direction of the wind. That word is ordain. To the modern ear, this word may sound archaic or overly religious, but in the language of metaphysics, to ordain means to establish order. It means to appoint reality. It means to issue a decree that cannot be overturned. The tragedy of the human condition is that we have been conditioned to believe that humility means making ourselves small. We have been taught that to be spiritual, we must approach the great source with our heads bowed, hat in hand, asking for crumbs. This is a fundamental error that blocks the flow of abundance. You must understand the vibrational difference between begging and commanding. When you beg, you are sending a very specific frequency to the universe. You are saying, I do not have this thing. I am small. I am powerless, and I doubt that I am worthy to receive it. The universe is a non-judgmental mirror. It receives the signal of I do not have, and it reflects back to you a reality of not having. Begging validates the absence of your desire. It reinforces the lack. It creates a chasm between you and the object of your wish. When you plead, please, God, send me money, you are actually affirming I am poor. When you plead, please, let me be loved, you are affirming I am lonely. The universe cannot give you what you are not vibrating. It cannot violate your own self-definition. Therefore, the more you beg, the more the object of your desire retreats from you. It is like chasing a shadow. The faster you run after it, the faster it runs away. The word ordain flips this dynamic entirely. When you ordain, you are speaking from the position of the sovereign. Imagine a king or a queen sitting on their throne. If the king desires a feast, he does not fall to his knees and beg the cook to feed him. He does not wonder if he is worthy of the food. He does not hope that maybe, if the kitchen is in a good mood, he might eat. No, he simply speaks. He says, bring the feast. He issues a command. He knows that his word is law. He knows that the entire mechanism of the castle is designed to obey his voice. This is not arrogance. This is his role. This is his nature. You are a child of the creative intelligence of the universe. You have the royal blood of the divine running through your spiritual veins. When you ordain, you are simply accepting your role in the hierarchy of creation. You are telling the formless energy to take form. You are telling the chaos to become order. Let us examine the story of John to see this principle in action. John was a man who represented the silent desperation of millions. He had worked in a corporate job he despised for 20 years. Every morning, he would drag himself out of bed, his stomach turning with dread at the thought of entering that gray office building. He felt trapped by the golden handcuffs of a steady paycheck and benefits, yet his soul was dying a little more each day. He wanted to be free. He wanted to start his own consulting firm, to work from home, to be the master of his own time. For years, John prayed. Every night, he would kneel by his bed and say, "Please, God, show me a way out. Please help me. I can't take this anymore. If it is your will, let me find a new job." He prayed with tears. He prayed with desperation. And for 20 years, nothing happened. The silence was deafening. John believed that God was ignoring him, or worse, that he was being punished. But the universe was not ignoring John. It was simply giving him exactly what he was asking for. He was broadcasting the signal of a victim who needed help, so the universe kept him in the state of a victim needing help. He was affirming his entrapment every time he begged for freedom. Then, John learned the power of the word ordain. He realized that he had been acting like a beggar in his own palace. He decided to change his speech. He decided to test the law. He stopped asking. He stopped crying. He stood up. One evening, instead of kneeling, John stood in the center of his room. He straightened his spine. He took a deep breath and spoke to the invisible walls. He said, "I ordain that the perfect pathway to my freedom is revealed now. I ordain that my talents are utilized for wealth and service. I decree that I am free from this job and that my income is multiplied. It is ordained." The first time he said it, he felt foolish. His mind argued with him, but he said it again and again. He spoke until he felt a shift in his solar plexus. He felt the vibration of authority. He wasn't asking for permission anymore. He was stating a fact. The shift was internal first. John went to work the next day, but he walked differently. He didn't look like a trapped animal. He looked like a man who had a secret. He knew something the others didn't. He had issued a command, and he knew the universe was busy executing it. He stopped looking for job listings and started preparing his mind for ownership. 3 months later, the breakthrough arrived. It did not come as a struggle. It came with the elegance of a mathematical equation solving itself. A major client of his company approached him privately. They were unhappy with the corporate bureaucracy and wanted to work with John directly. They offered him an independent contract that guaranteed him a year of work for triple his current salary with the freedom to work from anywhere. The doors of his prison didn't just open, they dissolved. John walked out of that office not as a fugitive, but as a king. He had ordained his freedom, and the universe had obeyed. This story illustrates a critical metaphysical truth. The universe is like a genie in a lamp. The genie has infinite power, but it has no will of its own. It waits for the master to speak. If the master says, "I wish I had a castle," the genie does nothing, because "I wish" is not a command. It is a daydream. If the master says, "I hope I get a castle," the genie does nothing, because hope implies doubt. But when the master says, "Build me a castle," the genie says, "Your wish is my command," and gets to work immediately. The power is not in the genie. The power is in the clarity of the command. You have been treating the universe like a tyrant you have to appease, instead of a servant you have to direct. However, a warning must be given. To ordain is not to be a tyrant yourself. You do not scream at the universe. You do not grit your teeth and strain your muscles. That is the vibration of force, and force creates resistance. True authority is calm. Think of a parent telling a child it is time for bed. The parent does not need to scream or beg. The parent speaks with a quiet, absolute certainty. It is time for bed. The child may protest, but the outcome is inevitable because the parent holds the authority. When you ordain, you must speak with this quiet certainty. You are not trying to convince the universe to give you something. You are announcing that the thing is yours. You are establishing the divine order. When you ordain, you must also be specific. You cannot simply say, "I ordain that things get better." That is too vague. The universe needs a blueprint. You must say, "I ordain perfect health in every cell of my body. I ordain a chaotic financial situation to become orderly and abundant. I ordain that the perfect partner appears in my life." Specificity is the mold into which the liquid energy of the universe pours. If your mold is fuzzy, your result will be fuzzy. If your mold is sharp and clear, your manifestation will be sharp and clear. We must also address the fear of playing God. Many people are afraid to ordain because they feel it is blasphemous to command. They have been taught that they must be submissive to the will of God, but you must understand what the will of God actually is. It is the nature of the life force to expand, to grow, to thrive, and to be abundant. Look at nature. Does a tree beg to grow? Does a flower beg to bloom? No. They simply express the fullness of their design. It is the will of God for you to be rich, healthy, and free, just as it is the will of the oak seed to become the oak tree. When you ordain abundance, you are not fighting against God. You are aligning with the divine intent. You are finally agreeing with what the Creator wants for you. Your poverty serves no one. Your sickness glorifies nothing. When you stand up and command your good to appear, you are fulfilling your destiny as a co-creator. So, from this moment forward, remove the vocabulary of the beggar from your tongue. Do not say, "I really need this." Say, "I ordain this." Do not say, "I don't know what to do." Say, "I ordain clarity." Do not say, "I am lonely." Say, "I ordain love." Feel the spine stiffen when you switch words. Feel the energy rise from your stomach to your throat. This is the energy that moves mountains. This is the energy that parts the Red Sea. You are not a leaf blowing in the wind of circumstance. You are the wind. You are the force that directs the ship. The second forbidden word puts the steering wheel back in your hands. But a command, once given, must be sealed. A king does not issue a command and then worry if his servants will listen. He assumes it is done the moment the words leave his lips. This brings us to the necessity of the third word. For if you ordain, but then spend the rest of the day worrying, you have cancelled your own order. You have told the genie, "Never mind." To make the ordination permanent, to lock it into the fabric of reality so that it cannot be shaken, you must understand the mystery of completion. You must learn how to close the circle. You have anchored in the now. You have issued the command. Now, you must seal the decree. We have now traveled a great distance together in this lecture. You have mastered the first word now and learned to anchor your power in the only moment that truly exists. You have mastered the second word, ordain, and learned to step into the role of the sovereign who commands reality rather than begging for scraps. However, there is a danger here. If you stop at this point, you will find yourself in a state of perpetual effort. You will be constantly commanding and constantly focusing on the present, but you may still feel a gnawing anxiety in the pit of your stomach. You may find yourself looking over your shoulder, asking, "Where is it? Why hasn't it arrived yet? Did I do it wrong?" This doubt is the leak in your spiritual vessel. It drains the power faster than you can generate it. To plug this leak and to seal your command into the very fabric of the universe so that it cannot be shaken or stolen, you need the third forbidden word. This word is the final key that locks the door of poverty behind you and opens the door of abundance before you. That word is accomplished. The word accomplished, or the phrase "it is done," is the most logically challenging concept for the human mind to grasp. Your rational mind looks at your physical circumstances and it sees incomplete projects, unpaid bills, and empty spaces where love should be. When you say "it is accomplished," your logic screams that you are a liar. It tells you that you are delusional, but you must understand that the rational mind only has access to the data of the past. It can only report on what has already happened. It is blind to the realm of causes. In the metaphysical reality, the moment you ordain a desire with the full force of your faith, it is instantly created in the invisible substance of the universe. It exists, it is real, It is finished. The time delay between the spiritual creation and the physical manifestation is merely a limitation of the dense material world. It is like thunder and lightning. The lightning strikes and the sound is created instantly, but because sound travels slower than light, you hear the thunder seconds later. The thunder was already a reality before you heard it. Your manifestation is the thunder. The spiritual decree is the lightning. When you say, "It is accomplished," you are acknowledging the lightning before the thunder arrives. You are validating the unseen reality. This is the secret of the masters. They do not wait for the physical evidence to believe. They believe, and that belief forces the physical evidence to appear. If you wait to see it before you believe it, you will never see it. This brings us to the profound story of Marie to illustrate the extreme discipline this requires. Marie was a woman who came to these teachings feeling the heavy weight of societal judgment. She was 40 years old, and she had never been married. In the era she lived in, and even in many circles today, a woman of her age was considered expired or left behind. Her family looked at her with pity. Her friends stopped inviting her to weddings because they thought it would make her sad. Marie felt the crushing loneliness of her empty house every single night. She wanted love, she wanted a partnership, she wanted the dignity of being a wife. But every time she looked in the mirror, she saw a spinster. She saw what the world told her to see. When Marie learned the 3 forbidden words, she decided to wage war against this false image. She understood that she could not attract a husband while vibrating with the energy of a lonely woman. She had to become a wife in her consciousness first. She began a practice that terrified her ego. Every single evening, she would stand before her mirror, look directly into her own eyes, and say with absolute authority, "I ordain my divine marriage now. It is accomplished." She did not say, "I hope I get married." She said, "I am married." But she did not stop at words. She knew that faith without works is dead. She began to live the life of a married woman in a house that contained only one person. She cleared out half of her closet, physically moving her clothes to one side to make space for the clothes of the man who was not yet there. She went to the store and bought a second toothbrush and placed it in the holder next to hers. Every evening, when she cooked dinner, she set the table for 2. She put out 2 plates, 2 forks, and 2 glasses. She would sit opposite the empty chair and feel the presence of her beloved. For the first few weeks, Marie felt like a fool. Her rational mind mocked her. It whispered, "You are crazy. You are setting a table for a ghost. If anyone saw you, they would lock you up." The pain of the empty chair was sharp, but Marie remembered the teaching. She knew that the empty chair was only empty to her physical eyes. In the realm of the spirit, it was occupied. She persisted. She pushed through the feeling of foolishness until she reached a state of peace. One night, she sat down at the table, and she didn't feel lonely anymore. She felt a warm, solid sense of accomplished. She felt that her husband was so real that his physical arrival was just a formality. She stopped looking for him in the streets because she felt she already had him. She stopped broadcasting desperation and started broadcasting satisfaction. 6 months into this practice, Marie was in a public library searching for a rare book on history. She reached for the volume on a high shelf just as a man's hand reached for the exact same book. Their fingers touched, they turned to look at each other, and there was an instant, electric shock of recognition. It wasn't the excitement of a new conquest, it was the comfort of a reunion. The man apologized. They began to talk, and they realized they shared not just an interest in that book, but in every major value of life. He was looking for a wife just as she was looking for a husband. They were married within the year. When Marie moved him into her home, his clothes fit perfectly into the empty space she had cleared in the closet. His toothbrush went into the holder she had bought months ago. He sat in the chair she had set for him every night. The physical reality slid into the grooves that her faith had carved out of the invisible. She realized then that she hadn't created him in the library. She had summoned him in her dining room. It was accomplished the moment she believed it was done. This leads us to the specific technique you must master, which we call the repetition of the end. Most people are addicted to the middle of the story. They obsess over the how. How will I get the money? How will I cure this sickness? How will I find the job? The how is not your business. The how belongs to the infinite intelligence of the universe, which has ways and means you cannot imagine. Your business is the end. You must go to the very end of your movie, past the struggle, past the solution, all the way to the scene where everything is perfect. You must live in that scene. This is a mental discipline that requires the focus of an athlete. Here is exactly how you perform the repetition of the end. You must set aside time each day where you are undisturbed. Close your eyes and construct a scene that implies your wish is already fulfilled. If you need money, do not visualize a bag of cash falling from the sky. Visualize yourself looking at your bank statement on your phone and seeing the specific number you desire. Feel the relief in your shoulders. Hear yourself saying to a friend, "I have so much abundance. I don't know how to spend it all." If you need health, do not visualize the medicine. Visualize yourself running on a beach, feeling the wind in your face, feeling the strength in your legs, and hearing a doctor say, "It is a miracle, you are perfectly healthy." You must engage all your senses. What does the air smell like in your new house? What does the leather of the steering wheel feel like in your new car? What does the voice of your partner sound like? You must replay this short scene over and over again in your mind until it has the tones of reality. The subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a physical one. If you repeat the scene of the end with enough intensity, your subconscious accepts it as a fact. It stamps it accomplished. Once that stamp is placed, the entire machinery of the universe begins to move to make that imaginary scene a physical fact. It will move people. It will cause accidents that turn into blessings. It will inspire you to take actions you would never normally take. You will find yourself walking across a bridge of incidents that leads you straight to the fulfillment of your vision. The word accomplished is also your shield against the world. When you leave your meditation, you must return to a world that may still look broken. Your bank account may still be empty 10 minutes after you visualized it full. This is the danger zone. If you react to the empty account with fear, you undo your work. You must look at the empty account and say, "This is an illusion." The reality is accomplished. It is on its way. You must walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil because you know the destination is already secured. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. The word accomplished allows you to relax. It takes the burden off your shoulders. You do not have to strain to make it happen. You only have to allow it to arrive. Think of it like ordering a package online. When you click Buy Now, you receive a confirmation number. You do not see the product. It is not in your hands. But you do not pace the floor worrying if it exists. You do not call the company every 5 minutes screaming, "Where is it?" You relax. You go about your life. You know that the logistics company is handling the shipping. You know it will arrive. The word accomplished is your spiritual confirmation number. You have clicked the button. The order is processed. The universe is the logistics company. Why are you worrying? Why are you doubting? The only reason to doubt is if you do not trust the merchant. Do you trust the creator? Do you trust the law? If you do, then you can say, "It is done," and truly mean it. As we prepare to combine these 3 words into the master decree, you must internalize this final shift. You are not a person trying to get something from the outside world. You are a projector. The film reel is your belief. The screen is the world. If you do not like the movie playing on the screen, it is useless to yell at the screen. You must change the film reel. The word accomplished is the act of locking the new reel into the projector and pressing play. It is the finality of your choice. You are declaring that the old movie of struggle is over and the new movie of triumph has begun. You are living in the end, and the end is beautiful. We have arrived at the summit of our journey together. You have spent this time gathering the separate components of a spiritual technology that has the power to reshape your destiny. You have taken the first key of now and learned to collapse the timeline of suffering into the immediate present. You have taken the second key of Ordayan and learned to stand in your royal authority to command the chaos into order. You have taken the third key of Accomplished and learned the secret of sealing your faith before the physical evidence appears. Separately, each of these words is a weapon against mediocrity. Separately, they can create shifts and improvements in your daily life. But Florence Scovel Shinn taught that when these three concepts are fused together into a single, unbreakable circuit of energy, they cease to be mere words and become a master ritual. They become a nuclear force that the resistance of the material world cannot withstand. You are no longer playing a single note on the piano. You are about to strike a chord that will resonate through the corridors of the universe. This is the moment where the philosophy ends and the alchemy begins. You must understand why the combination is necessary. The subconscious mind is like a sophisticated computer system that runs the hardware of your reality. If you give it a command that is incomplete, it will execute the command imperfectly. If you use now without ordain, you might feel present but passive, waiting for something to happen in the moment, but lacking the direction to shape it. If you use ordain without accomplished, you might exert great will and force, but find yourself exhausted by the constant effort because you never truly believe the job is done. If you use accomplished without now, you might live in a fantasy world of the future result while your present reality crumbles around you. The master ritual weaves these three threads into a rope that cannot be broken. It addresses time, will, and faith simultaneously. It tells the universe when to act. Now, what to do, ordain, and how to view the completion. Accomplished. It leaves no loopholes for doubt to enter. It leaves no cracks for fear to seep through. It is a sealed chamber of creation. I am now going to give you the specific master decree. This is not a poem. This is not a wish. This is a formula. I want you to listen to it carefully. Write it down and burn it into your memory. This is the sentence that you will use to unlock the golden door. I ordain that the divine design of my life manifests now. Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate abundance. Let miracles follow miracles and wonders never cease. I see it. I feel it. It is accomplished. Let us dissect the anatomy of this decree so you understand the power you are wielding. It begins with I ordain. Immediately, you are stepping out of the role of the victim and into the role of the co-creator. You are not asking. You are establishing order. Then it moves to the divine design. This is crucial because it aligns your personal will with the universal will. You are not asking for something that will harm you. You are asking for the highest version of your life that was planned for you before you were born. Then you command it now. You slam the door on delay. You demand that the energy moves in this breath, not the next one. Open the way for immediate abundance directs the energy specifically toward prosperity, removing blockages. Let miracles follow miracles sets up a momentum, ensuring that this is not a one-time event but a continuous flow of blessings. Finally, I see it. I feel it engages your senses and your emotions, which is the fuel of manifestation. And it ends with the seal. It is accomplished. You slam the gavel. You sign the contract. You walk away knowing it is done. Now I will teach you the ritual of the decree. Knowing the words is not enough. You must know how to deliver them. You cannot mumble this decree while you are brushing your teeth or scrolling through your phone. You must treat it with the reverence of a coronation. The ritual requires a physical engagement. To perform the master ritual, you must stand up. Do not sit. Standing signals to your nervous system that you are in a state of readiness and action. Plant your feet firmly on the ground, shoulder width apart. This creates a base of stability. Straighten your spine. Imagine a string pulling the top of your head toward the sky. This connects you to the vertical power of the spirit. Open your chest. Roll your shoulders back. This opens your heart center and removes the posture of the beggar. You are now standing in the posture of power. Take 3 deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and exhale forcefully through your mouth. With each exhale, imagine you are blowing out the dust of doubt and the smoke of confusion. Clear the channel of your throat. When you are ready, you will speak the master decree aloud. You must speak it aloud. Thought is powerful, but sound is creative. Sound vibrates the air molecules and changes the frequency of the room. Speak with your diaphragm, not just your throat. Let the voice come from the center of your belly. You are not screaming, but you are projecting. You are speaking to the atoms of your body and the angels of the universe. Say the decree 3 times. This is the law of 3. The first time you say it, focus on the meaning. Think about every word to understand what you are commanding. Let your intellect accept the logic of the decree. I ordain that the divine design of my life manifests now. It is accomplished. The second time you say it, focus on the feeling. Emotionalize it. Feel the joy of the abundance arriving. Feel the relief of the burden lifting. Let your voice tremble with the excitement of the reality. I ordain that the divine design of my life manifests now. It is accomplished. The third time you say it, focus on the authority. Speak it as a king or queen, issuing a final law that cannot be debated. Let there be a cold, hard certainty in your voice. You are not hoping, you are knowing. I ordain that the divine design of my life manifests now. It is accomplished. After the third repetition, stand in silence for 1 minute. This is the most important minute of the ritual. Do not move. Do not rush to check your phone. Just stand in the vibration you have created. Feel the energy tingling in your hands. Feel the shift in the atmosphere. This silence is the cement setting. It is the seal hardening. You are allowing the command to settle into the deep structure of the subconscious. Then, simply say, "Thank you," and go about your day. The master ritual must be performed with the rhythm of the sun. Florence taught that consistency is the key that turns the lock. You must perform this ritual in the morning immediately upon rising. This sets the trajectory of your day. It tells the universe that today is a day of miracles. You must perform it at noon or in the middle of your day. This acts as a reset button. The world will try to drag you down during the morning. The noon ritual pulls you back up. It reminds you of who you are when the stress of work or family tries to make you forget. And you must perform it at night, right before you sleep. This plants the command into the fertile soil of the subconscious to grow while you rest. Morning, noon, and night. 3 times a day. 3 repetitions each time. This is the prescription for a transformed life. You may face resistance. Your ordinary mind will tell you that you are too tired to stand up. It will tell you that you look silly talking to an empty room. It will tell you that you don't have time. You must recognize this voice for what it is. It is the voice of the old paradigm trying to survive. It knows that if you commit to this ritual, it will die. Do not listen to it. Do the ritual anyway. Do it when you are tired. Do it when you are sad. Do it when you are broke. Especially do it when you are broke. The ritual is not for the times when you feel good. It is for the times when you need to change the reality. The discipline of the ritual creates the vessel for the miracle. There is one final warning regarding the master ritual. You must not undo your work in the spaces between the rituals. Imagine that the ritual is you building a magnificent brick wall. You lay the bricks in the morning, noon, and night. But if, in the hours between, you complain to your friends about how hard life is, you are taking a sledgehammer and knocking down the bricks you just laid. You are canceling your own order. You must become the guardian of your speech. If you catch yourself slipping into negative talk, stop immediately. Do not judge yourself. Simply correct yourself. Say, "Cancel that," and whisper the short version of the decree. I ordain abundance now. Keep the energy building. Do not let the pressure escape. You now have the formula. You have the mechanics. You have the words. The mystery has been demystified. This is not magic that belongs to a chosen few. This is the application of spiritual law that belongs to anyone with the courage to apply it. The combination of now, ordain, and accomplished is the skeleton key that opens any door in the mansion of life. Whether that door is labeled health, wealth, love, or purpose, the key fits, but the key must be turned. It must be turned by your hand, your voice, and your will. The universe has been waiting for you to stop begging and start commanding. The invisible river has been waiting for the channel to be opened. The golden door is standing before you, and for the first time in your life, you are not empty-handed. You hold the master key. The only question that remains is not whether the ritual works, but whether you will work the ritual. Will you commit to this for the next 40 days? Will you be the scientist of your own life and prove the law? The decree is written. The power is given. The time is now. The command is ordained. The victory is accomplished. We have now reached the end of our journey together, yet in the truest sense, we have only just arrived at the beginning. You are not the same person who clicked on this video an hour ago. When you arrived here, you were perhaps a seeker looking for answers, or a wanderer looking for direction, or a struggler looking for relief. You stood before the golden door with empty hands, wondering why it would not open. But now, you stand before that same door holding the master keys. You have undergone a transformation of consciousness. You have received the ancient technology of the 3 forbidden words. You have learned that now is the only time where power exists, shattering the illusion of delay. You have learned that ordain is the voice of the sovereign, replacing the weak whimper of the beggar. You have learned that accomplished is the seal of faith, seeing the invisible reality before the visible world catches up. The veil has been lifted, the secret is out. The question is no longer, does this work? The question is, will you work it? You must understand the gravity of this moment. Knowledge that is not used becomes a heavy burden. To know the law and not apply it is far worse than to be ignorant of the law. If you turn off this video and go back to your old way of speaking, your old way of complaining, and your old way of waiting for permission to be great, you will feel a discord in your soul. You cannot unknow what you now know. You have been initiated into the order of conscious creators. This responsibility is a gift, but it is also a discipline. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the game of life is a game of boomerangs. What you send out in word and thought returns to you with mathematical precision. You have been sending out boomerangs of lack and fear for too long. Today, you have crafted a new boomerang. You have crafted a boomerang of power, abundance, and authority. You must throw it. You must throw it every morning when you wake up. You must throw it every noon when the world tries to drag you down. You must throw it every night before you sleep. Do not let the simplicity of these words deceive you into abandoning them. The human mind loves complexity. It loves to believe that the solution to a difficult life must be difficult. It wants a complicated ritual, a mountain to climb, or a sacrifice to make. When it hears that the solution is as simple as changing 3 words in your vocabulary, the ego rebels. It says, it cannot be that easy. But I tell you, the greatest truths of the universe are always simple. Gravity is simple. Light is simple. Love is simple. Do not let your intellect talk you out of your miracle. You do not need to understand the complex electrical engineering of a light switch to turn on the light. You just need to flip the switch. These 3 words, now, ordain, accomplished, are the switch. Do not analyze the wiring. Just flip the switch and let the light flood the room. Now, I am going to ask you to perform a specific act of courage. I want you to anchor your commitment in the physical world right now. I want you to go to the comments section below and write your decree. This is not for the sake of the YouTube algorithm. This is for the sake of your own soul. When you write something down, you are taking it out of the ethereal world of thought and bringing it into the physical world of matter. You are making it real. I want you to write the master decree. I ordain my abundance now. It is accomplished. And I want you to add something else. I want you to write the name of your city and your country. Why do I ask this? Because we are building a grid. We are building a network of high vibration energy that spans the globe. When you scroll through the comments and see someone from New York, someone from London, someone from Sydney, and someone from Tokyo all declaring the same truth, your faith will be fortified. You will realize you are not alone. You are part of an army of light that is waking up to its power. Imagine the map of the world in your mind. Imagine that every comment is a pin of golden light on that map. As more and more people write their decree, the map begins to glow. The darkness of fear and poverty is pushed back by the light of our collective authority. By adding your voice, you are strengthening the signal for everyone else. You are serving the collective. So do not be shy. Do not remain anonymous in the shadows. Step into the light. Declare your presence. Declare your power. Let the universe see you. Let us see you. And if you have received value from this transmission, if you feel a shift in your spirit, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Again, this is not a commercial request. It is an energetic alignment. By subscribing, you are telling your subconscious mind, I value this information. I want more of this wisdom. I am aligning myself with this frequency. You are opening a channel for this teaching to flow into your life continuously. You are choosing to be a student of the higher laws. And share this video. Share it with a friend who is struggling. Share it with a family member who has lost hope. Be the messenger of their liberation. You do not know the ripple effect of a single share. One video sent to one person could save a marriage, start a business, or heal a body. Be the vessel through which this knowledge flows to others. As you give, so shall you receive. That is the law. As we prepare to part ways, I want to leave you with a final benediction. Receive these words not just with your ears, but with your heart. Let them settle into your bones. Let them become a shield around you as you walk out into the world. May the Infinite Spirit open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing upon you that is so great there is not room enough to receive it. May every wall of Jericho that has stood between you and your dreams crumble into dust at the sound of your voice. May the words of your mouth and the meditations of your heart be sharp, clear, and powerful. When you speak now, may time collapse to serve you. When you speak ordain, may the chaos order itself into harmony. When you speak accomplished, may the peace that passes all understanding guard your mind. May you walk through the valley of the shadow of doubt and fear no evil, for you now possess the rod and the staff of authority. May you look at the empty spaces in your life and see them full. May you look at the sickness and see health. May you look at the lack and see plenty. You are no longer a beggar at the gate of life. You are the owner of the estate. You have the keys. The lock is turning. The door is opening. Go forth now and live the life you were designed to live. Do not look back at the past, for you are not going that way. Look forward. Look upward. Look inward. The power is not in the sky. The power is in your throat. Speak your world into existence. Be the light that lights up the darkness for others. Be the proof that the law works. We are with you. The universe is for you. And nothing can stand against you. It is ordained. It is done. It is accomplished. Amen.